Ollie the owl's big hoot. In the heart of the forest, as the moon climbed high, Ollie the owl woke up with a big yawn. Tonight was special. He wanted to join the forest choir and sing his big hoot. But when Ollie tried to hoot, all that came out was a tiny little whisper. "Oh no," he sighed. "How will they hear me?" With a hopeful heart, Ollie decided to ask his friends for help under the sparkling stars. First, Ollie flew to the rabbits hopping softly through the bushes. "Can you help me make my hoot louder?" he asked. The rabbits giggled and showed Ollie how they stomped their feet to make a happy rhythm. Ollie tried stomping too, but his hoot was still just a tiny whisper. "Don't worry," said the rabbits. "Let's keep trying." Next, Ollie fluttered over to the wise old turtle slowly moving by the sparkling stream. "Mr. Turtle, how can I make my hoot big and strong?" Ollie asked. The turtle smiled and said, "Take a deep breath, Ollie. Let your heart fill with all the joy you feel." Ollie closed his eyes and breathed in deeply, feeling the cool night air fill his wings. With a deep breath and a hopeful heart, Ollie climbed back to his favorite branch. He opened his beak wide and let out the biggest, boldest hoot the forest had ever heard. The sound echoed through the trees, making the fireflies twinkle brighter and the animals gather around, smiling and clapping their paws and wings. "Hooray for Ollie!" they cheered. Ollie felt proud and happy. His big hoot was just right. From that night on, Ollie knew that every voice matters, whether loud or soft. And whenever the forest choir sang beneath the stars, Ollie's big hoot joined in, filling the night with friendship and song. And so, the forest was never quiet again, thanks to Ollie and his wonderful big hoot. The Big Heart of Harry. In a sunny, green forest lived a little bear named Harry. Harry was not just any bear. He had a big heart that was full of love. Every day, he would wander through the forest, waving to his friends and spreading cheer wherever he went. "Good morning, everyone," he would call, and all the animals would smile back. Harry loved to help, whether it was picking flowers for the rabbits or sharing his honey with the birds. One day, as Harry was exploring, he heard a soft whimper. Curious, he followed the sound and found a little bird with a hurt wing. "Oh no, don't worry, little friend, I'll help you," Harry said, his heart swelling with kindness. He carefully picked up the bird and took it to his cozy tree stump. He made a soft bed with leaves and brought some berries for lunch. The little bird chirped happily, feeling safe and loved. As days went by, the little bird grew stronger, and soon it was time to fly again. "Thank you, Harry, you have the biggest heart," the bird chirped joyfully. Harry felt a warm glow inside. He had learned that sharing love and kindness could make a big difference. With a wave and a smile, the bird took to the sky, and Harry cheered, feeling proud of his big heart. From that day on, Harry continued to share his big heart with everyone in the forest. Whether it was helping a friend in need or just making someone smile, he knew that love was the greatest treasure of all. And so, the little bear with the big heart became the happiest bear in the forest, surrounded by friends and filled with joy. The Brave Little Firefly. In the middle of a peaceful forest lived a tiny firefly named Flicker. Flicker was small, but had the brightest light of all the fireflies. Every night, Flicker loved to dance in the dark, lighting up the leaves and flowers around. All the forest animals would smile when they saw Flicker's glowing tail twinkle like a little star. Flicker dreamed of lighting up the whole forest one day, making the night feel warm and happy. One evening, dark clouds gathered above the forest, and a big storm started to rumble. The wind howled and the rain poured down, making the forest dark and scary. All the animals hurried to find safe places to hide, but some little ones got lost in the rain and shadows. Flicker knew the forest needed a bright light to help everyone find their way home. Even though Flicker was small, it was time to be brave and shine brighter than ever before. Gathering all the courage inside, Flicker's light grew bigger and brighter, shining through the thick rain and dark clouds. Flicker flew high and low, guiding the lost animals back to their homes. The little rabbit hopped safely back to its cozy burrow, the sleepy owl found its tree nest, and the tiny hedgehog rolled into its warm leaves. The forest wasn't scary anymore because Flicker's brave little light was there to brighten the night. When the storm finally passed, the forest sparkled under a sky full of stars. All the animals gathered around Flicker, cheering and thanking the brave little firefly. Flicker smiled, feeling proud and happy. Even though Flicker was tiny, the little light made a big difference that night. From then on, Flicker knew that being brave and kind could brighten the darkest moments and bring everyone together. The happy little cloud. High up in the big, blue sky lived a happy little cloud named Puffy. Puffy was soft and white and loved to float around all day, waving hello to the birds and butterflies. Whenever Puffy moved, a gentle breeze followed, making the flowers dance and the leaves twirl. Puffy's favorite thing was to smile at everyone below and share the sunshine's warmth. Every morning, Puffy woke up feeling excited to find new friends and make the sky a joyful place. One day, Puffy noticed something magical. When the sun peaked just right, Puffy could create a beautiful rainbow. Puffy stretched wide and shimmered with all the colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The animals below looked up and laughed with joy, pointing at the bright colors in the sky. Puffy felt so proud and happy to share this wonderful gift. From that moment, Puffy decided to make rainbows every day to spread smiles everywhere. Sometimes, Puffy wanted to help the plants and animals thirsty for a drink. So Puffy would puff up big and soft, then sprinkle tiny, gentle raindrops all around. The raindrops tickled the leaves and made little puddles for the frogs to splash in. Puffy giggled as the raindrops danced down softly, knowing everyone was happy and refreshed. After the rain, Puffy would always shine bright again, painting rainbows for all to see. Puffy loved being a happy little cloud who brought fun, colors, and kindness wherever it floated. The little Finch's beak. Fizz the little Finch woke up to a sunny morning in the big forest. He looked at his reflection in a shiny puddle and noticed something different. His beak was longer and curvier than his friends. Fizz wondered if his beak could do special things. With a cheerful chirp, he decided to find out what made his beak so unique. Fizz flew to the berry bush where his friends loved to eat red, juicy berries. But the berries were hidden behind thick leaves, and the other birds couldn't reach them easily. Using his special beak, Fizz gently moved the leaves aside and picked the berries with ease. All the birds cheered, and Fizz felt proud and happy. Next, Fizz met Sammy the squirrel, who was trying to open a tiny acorn but couldn't crack it. Fizz tried using his beak to gently tap the acorn and crack. The acorn split open. Sammy clapped his paws in delight and shared the acorn's seeds with Fizz. They laughed and played together under the tall trees. As the sun began to set, Fizz flew back to his flock, feeling happy and proud. His beak was not just different, it was special. It helped him find tasty berries, make new friends, and have wonderful adventures. All the birds gathered around, listening to Fizz's stories about his big day. The story of Paula and Peter. Once upon a time, in a magical garden, there lived a fluffy puppy named Paula and a curious kitten named Peter. They loved to play together every day, exploring the colorful flowers and chasing butterflies. One sunny morning, Paula said, "Let's find the biggest flower in the garden." Peter's eyes sparkled with excitement as he replied, "Yes, let's go on an adventure." And off they went, wagging tails and twitching whiskers, ready for a day of fun. As they wandered deeper into the garden, they met a friendly rabbit named Ruby. "Hello, Paula and Peter," she said, hopping over. "What are you looking for?" Paula wagged her tail and said, "We're searching for the biggest flower." Ruby smiled and pointed with her paw. "Follow me, I know just the place." Excited, Paula and Peter followed Ruby, their hearts full of joy and laughter. They soon arrived at the tallest flower they had ever seen. It was a giant sunflower stretching high into the sky. "Wow," said Peter, his eyes wide with wonder. Paula barked happily, "Let's climb up and see the view." But how could they reach the top? They thought and thought. Then Paula had a brilliant idea. "Let's work together," she exclaimed. "I can help you up and you can pull me up too." With teamwork, Paula jumped up while Peter climbed on her back. Together, they reached the top of the sunflower. From up high, they saw the entire garden bursting with colors and life. "We did it!" they cheered, their voices ringing out in glee. They learned that with friendship and teamwork, they could achieve anything. As they climbed back down, they knew they would have many more adventures together. The Green Expedition of Gracie and Greg. One sunny morning in the greenest forest, Gracie the frog woke up with a big smile. "Today is the day for an adventure," she croaked excitedly. She hopped around her lily pad, splashing water everywhere. Just then, Greg the snail peeked out from his cozy shell. "What adventure, Gracie?" he asked with wide eyes. "Let's explore the magical green forest," Gracie said, waving her tiny webbed feet. Greg smiled, feeling brave. Off they went, ready to discover new things. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they found tall trees swaying gently in the breeze. "Look at those giant mushrooms," Gracie exclaimed, pointing with her little foot. Greg slowly crawled closer, amazed at the colors. Suddenly, a friendly bluebird flew by. "Hello there, are you on an expedition?" she chirped. "Yes," they both shouted. The bluebird flapped her wings and said, "Follow me, I know a secret spot." The bluebird led Gracie and Greg to a hidden glade filled with sparkling flowers and dancing fireflies. "Wow, it's so beautiful," gasped Gracie, her eyes sparkling. Greg looked around, his shell glistening in the sunlight. "This is amazing," he said, sliding over to a bright flower. They twirled and danced, feeling the magic of the forest. "Let's play tag among the flowers," Gracie suggested, and off they went, laughing and having fun. After a fun day of playing, Gracie and Greg sat down to rest. "This was the best adventure ever," Gracie said, her heart full of happiness. Greg nodded, his eyes shining. "I couldn't have done it without you, Gracie," he said. Gracie smiled, knowing that together they could explore anything. As the sun began to set, they promised to have more adventures in the green forest, side by side, forever friends. The Angry Little Ant. One sunny morning, Andy the little ant woke up feeling very grumpy. His tiny home, the anthill, was messy with leaves and crumbs everywhere. "Oh no," Andy shouted, stomping his feet. "Why is no one helping to clean?" His antennae twitched with frustration as he looked around. The other ants were busy carrying food or playing, but not a single one was tidying up. Andy's anger grew bigger and bigger like a storm inside him. Andy decided to clean all by himself. He started picking up leaves and crumbs, but they kept falling down. "This is so hard," he grumbled. Just then, his friend Bella the butterfly fluttered by. "Why are you so angry, Andy?" Bella asked with a gentle smile. "I want everything to be perfect," Andy replied. Bella had a bright idea. "Why don't you ask your friends to help? Cleaning is easier and more fun together," she said, flapping her colorful wings. Andy thought about Bella's words and decided to try. He called out, "Friends, let's clean the anthill together." One by one, the ants stopped what they were doing and joined him. They sang a happy cleaning song as they worked side by side. Andy felt his anger melt away and a big smile spread across his face. Soon, the anthill was sparkling clean, and everyone was laughing and dancing. Andy learned that sharing work with friends made everything better and more fun. The Friendly Scots Oriole's Melody. Once upon a time, in a sunny forest, there lived a friendly bird named Ollie the Scots Oriole. Ollie had the brightest yellow feathers and a heart full of joy. Each morning, he would sing a sweet melody that made everyone in the forest smile. The trees danced with his music, and the flowers opened their petals wide to listen. One day, Ollie decided to visit his friends. He flitted from tree to tree, singing his special song. First, he found Sammy the squirrel. "Hello, Sammy. Want to sing along?" Ollie chirped. Sammy's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Oh, I love your melody, Ollie. Let's make some music together." They sang a merry tune that echoed through the forest. Next, they met Ruby the rabbit, who hopped over with her long ears flopping. "What a lovely sound. Can I join too?" she asked. Ollie smiled and nodded. Soon, the three friends were singing a magical harmony, filling the forest with laughter. Finally, Ollie and his friends reached the wise old owl Oliver. He had heard their beautiful song and was eager to join. "Your melody is wonderful. Let me add my hoot," said Oliver, and together they created a symphony that made the entire forest come alive with joy. As the sun began to set, their song filled the air, wrapping the forest in warmth. All the animals danced and celebrated their friendship. Ollie realized that sharing his melody brought everyone together. And from that day on, they sang every morning, spreading happiness throughout the forest. The Violet Voyage of Violet and Victor. One sunny morning, Violet the purple cat and Victor the gray mouse climbed aboard their shiny violet boat. The boat sparkled under the soft lavender sky, ready to sail on the sparkling purple sea. Violet stretched her paws and looked to Victor with a big smile. "Are you ready for our violet voyage?" she asked. Victor nodded eagerly, his tiny red scarf fluttering in the gentle breeze. Together, they set sail, their hearts full of wonder and excitement for the adventure ahead. As the boat glided over the purple waves, Violet spotted a school of glittering fish swimming alongside. They shimmered like tiny stars in the water. Victor waved happily, and a friendly fish leapt out, splashing a little water around. "Hello, friends," Violet called, and the fish twirled in circles, inviting them to follow. Violet and Victor giggled and steered their boat to play with the new friends, dipping their paws and tails into the cool, violet sea. Suddenly, a shimmering purple turtle popped its head out of the water near their boat. "Welcome, travelers," the turtle said with a warm smile. "If you want to find the treasure of kindness, you must help me solve a riddle." Violet's eyes sparkled with curiosity, and Victor nodded eagerly. The turtle asked, "What grows bigger the more you share?" Violet and Victor thought hard. Then Violet exclaimed, "It's kindness." The turtle beamed, "You are right. Kindness makes the world brighter." Feeling proud and happy, Violet and Victor continued their voyage, sharing kind words and smiles with every new friend they met. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in soft violet and pink hues, their boat softly rocked on the gentle waves. Together, they realized that the greatest treasure of all was the kindness they shared and the joy of exploring the violet sea side by side. With a happy sigh, Violet purred, "This has been the best violet voyage ever." The happy grasshopper sparrow's chirp. In a sunny meadow, there lived a happy little grasshopper sparrow named Chirpy. Chirpy loved to sing the sweetest chirps that made all the flowers dance and the butterflies flutter with joy. Every morning, Chirpy would hop from leaf to leaf, singing his cheerful song to wake up the sleepy world. One bright day, Chirpy woke up and tried to sing, but oh no, his special chirp was missing. Worried but hopeful, Chirpy decided to go on an adventure to find his chirp again. As Chirpy hopped through the meadow, he met a friendly bunny named Binky. Binky had big, soft ears and loved to listen to songs. Chirpy told Binky about his missing chirp, and Binky smiled, saying, "Let's find it together." They bounced along the soft grass, asking the buzzing bees and the twinkling fireflies if they had seen Chirpy's chirp. Everyone shook their heads but cheered Chirpy on, making him feel braver with every step. Suddenly, a colorful butterfly named Bella fluttered by, singing a sweet tune. Chirpy felt a tickle in his throat and tried to chirp along, but still, his special sound was missing. Bella smiled and said, "Sometimes, your chirp is not just in your beak, but in the happiness you share." Chirpy thought about all the smiles and laughter he had given to his friends. Then, with a joyful heart, he chirped a little tune, soft but full of happiness. To Chirpy's surprise, his little chirp grew louder and brighter. The flowers swayed happily, the butterflies danced, and even the shy ladybugs joined in the celebration. Chirpy realized that his chirp had never really left. It was inside him all along, growing stronger whenever he shared joy with his friends. From that day on, Chirpy chirped happily every morning, filling the meadow with music and smiles, knowing the best chirp is the one that comes from the heart. The Chorus of Kindness. In a bright, sunny forest where flowers danced in the breeze lived a rabbit named Ruby. Ruby loved to hop around, singing sweet songs. One day, while bouncing through the meadow, she met Ollie the owl. "Hello, Ollie," she chirped. "Your feathers are so beautiful today." Ollie smiled, his heart fluttering like a butterfly. "Thank you, Ruby. Your singing is a delight." Excited by their kind words, Ruby and Ollie decided to spread kindness throughout the forest. They hopped and flew to find their friends. They found Felix the fox, who was feeling a bit blue. "Felix, you are so clever," Ruby exclaimed. Felix's ears perked up. "Really? Thank you. I feel much better now." Next, they visited Dina the deer, who loved to play hide and seek. "Dina, your games are the best," Ollie hooted. Dina blushed and replied, "Oh, thank you. Let's play together." With that, they all joined in a game, laughter ringing through the trees like music. As the day went on, all the animals gathered in a circle. Ruby suggested, "Let's share our kind words and make a chorus of kindness." One by one, the animals shared something kind about each other. They sang sweet praises, and their hearts filled with joy. The forest echoed with their beautiful chorus, making every creature feel special. From that day on, the forest was never the same. Every time someone felt down, their friends would sing the chorus of kindness, lifting their spirits. And so, in the heart of the forest, kindness became the most beautiful song of all, uniting every creature in a warm embrace. The little scissor-tailed flycatcher's tale. In a sunny meadow filled with colorful flowers and buzzing bees, lived a little scissor-tailed flycatcher named Tilly. She was special because her tail was long and split like a pair of scissors. Every time she flew, her tail made a swoosh-swish sound that made her friends giggle with delight. Tilly loved flying high and dipping low, swirling through the sky like a dancer with her beautiful tail shining in the sunlight. One day, while Tilly was fluttering near the big oak tree, she noticed her tail made a funny noise when she twirled fast. Curious, she tried spinning and swirling more, and suddenly, her tail whooshed so loudly that it made the leaves dance and the flowers sway. Tilly's eyes sparkled with surprise. Could her tail be magical? She decided to find out by practicing her special tail moves every day. As Tilly played with her tail's magic, she found she could help her friends too. When the little bunny was stuck in a bush, Tilly swooshed her tail gently to clear the twigs away. When the butterflies wanted to dance but the wind was too soft, Tilly's tail made the breeze just perfect for their fluttery ballet. Everyone cheered and hugged Tilly, happy for her kind and magical tail. One evening, as the sun began to set and painted the sky with orange and pink, Tilly perched on her favorite branch feeling proud and happy. Her tail wasn't just pretty, it was special and useful too. She realized that being different made her unique and that her tail's magic came from her heart. With a joyful chirp, Tilly spread her wings, ready for new adventures and more magical moments. The little Skua's Scavenge. High above the chilly, rocky shore, a little Skua named Suki flapped her wings with excitement. Today was her very first big scavenging adventure. She looked down at the sparkling blue sea and the craggy rocks below, where shiny shells and tasty treats might be hiding. Suki's bright eyes twinkled as she imagined all the fun she would have discovering treasures to eat and maybe even some new friends to meet. Suki swooped down and landed on a big smooth rock. There, she spotted a shiny crab scuttling quickly toward a little tide pool. "Hello, crab. Have you seen any yummy food around here?" Suki chirped. The crab clicked happily and pointed its claws toward some seaweed and small fish washed up near the water's edge. Suki's beak curved into a smile. She was already learning where to find her favorite snacks. Just then, two colorful puffins waddled over, their bright orange beaks bobbing as they chatted. "Are you looking for food too?" one asked with a cheerful squawk. Suki nodded happily. The puffins showed her a secret spot where the waves left behind tasty snacks like bits of seaweed and small shells hiding tiny creatures. Suki felt so lucky to have new friends helping her on her scavenging adventure. With a happy chirp, Suki found a shiny shell that was home to a tiny hermit crab. She gently nudged it and said, "Hello, little friend. I'm glad we found each other." The hermit crab waved its tiny claw, and Suki felt her heart swell with kindness and joy. The day was full of surprises, friendship, and plenty of delicious snacks for a little Skua's big adventure. The little chickens Peep. Early one sunny morning, little Pip the chicken woke up feeling very curious. She looked around at the big, bright farm and thought, "Today I will try to peep." But when she opened her beak, only a tiny whisper came out. Pip tried again and again, but her peep was so soft it sounded like a gentle breeze. "Oh dear," she said, "will I ever have a peep that I can share?" Just then, Daisy the cow came over, her big eyes sparkling kindly. "Hello, Pip, I heard your tiny peep. It's very special," said Daisy. "When I was little, I was shy to moo too, but one day I found my voice and it was wonderful." Pip smiled and felt her heart feel a little braver. "Maybe my peep just needs a little time," she thought. Next, Percy the pig trotted by, wagging his curly tail. "Hey, Pip, don't worry if your peep is small. When I was little, my oinks were tiny squeaks. Now I sing and play all day." Pip giggled, seeing Percy bounce happily in the mud. "Thanks, Percy, I'll keep trying," she said, feeling even more excited. Then Fluffy Sheba the sheep appeared, softly bleating. "Pip, your peep is like a tiny song waiting to grow strong. When you feel ready, just sing from your heart." Pip took a deep breath and thought about all her new friends. She felt warm and happy inside. "I'll try once more," she whispered. With a big smile and a brave heart, Pip opened her beak wide and let out her very first peep. It was soft, sweet, and clear, just like her. All the animals cheered and clapped their paws and hooves. "Hooray for Pip's peep," they said. Pip twirled around happily, knowing her special peep was something wonderful after all. The family road trip of Rosie and Ryan. One sunny morning, Rosie and Ryan jumped into their family car, ready for a big road trip. "Where are we going?" Rosie asked, her eyes shining with excitement. "To the magic forest," Ryan replied, holding a map. They packed their favorite snacks and waved goodbye to their house, the adventure ahead making them giggle. As they drove along, they passed fields of flowers dancing in the breeze and tall trees whispering secrets. Suddenly, a friendly rabbit hopped alongside their car. "Hello, Rosie and Ryan," said the rabbit. "Would you like to play?" The siblings laughed and cheered. "Yes." The rabbit led them to a sunny meadow where a picnic party was happening. Animals of all kinds were gathered: squirrels, birds, and even a wise old turtle. They shared sandwiches, grapes, and cookies. Rosie and Ryan laughed as they played games and danced with their new furry friends. After a day full of laughter and fun, it was time to head home. Rosie and Ryan waved goodbye to their new friends, promising to return. As they drove back, they shared stories of their adventure, feeling happy and loved. "Best road trip ever," they shouted together, dreaming of the next one. The happy horses Gallop. Once upon a time, in a bright and sunny meadow, there lived a happy horse named Hazel. Hazel had a shiny chestnut coat that sparkled in the sun, and her laughter filled the air as she galloped through the tall grass. Every day was an adventure for Hazel, and she loved to run fast, feeling the wind in her mane and the soft earth beneath her hooves. "Gallop, gallop, hooray!" she would shout as her heart danced with joy. One sunny day, as Hazel was galloping, she spotted her friend Benny the bunny hopping nearby. "Benny, come play with me," Hazel called out. Benny twitched his ears and hopped over, excited to join in. Together, they raced across the meadow, with Benny bouncing alongside Hazel's galloping hooves. Their laughter echoed like music, making the flowers sway to their happy tune. Suddenly, they heard a sweet chirping sound. It was Bella the bluebird perched on a branch above them. "Can I join your race?" she chirped happily. "Of course," said Hazel and Benny, excited to have a new friend. Bella flew high above them, singing a lovely song. Hazel galloped faster, and Benny hopped higher, trying to keep up with Bella's melodies floating through the air. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Hazel, Benny, and Bella slowed down, panting but happy. "What a fun day," Hazel said, smiling at her friends. "I love galloping with you both." They all agreed that playing together was the best part of their day. With hearts full of joy, they promised to meet again tomorrow for more adventures in the meadow. The brave little toads, Wart. In the heart of a sunny forest pond lived Toby, a brave little toad with a tiny wart that twinkled like a star on his back. Every day, Toby hopped happily among the lily pads, greeting his friends with a cheerful croak. But sometimes, he wondered why his wart sparkled while others didn't have one at all. Even though he was a bit different, Toby loved his wart and dreamed of a big adventure where it could shine bright. One morning, as Toby hopped near the water's edge, he heard a tiny cry. It was Bella, the butterfly, stuck in a spider's web. Without a second thought, Toby leapt forward. His sparkling wart glowed warmly, and the light made the spider pause and gently release Bella. She fluttered free, thanking Toby with a happy dance. Toby felt his wart was magical, and he knew it could help his friends whenever they needed. Later that day, a little frog named Freddie was sad because he lost his way home. Toby's wart sparkled even brighter, lighting the darkening forest path. With Toby's glowing wart leading the way, Freddie hopped safely back to his cozy lily pad. Along the journey, other animals saw the light and followed, feeling safe and happy. Toby realized his tiny wart wasn't just special, it was a beacon of bravery and friendship. That evening, all the forest friends gathered around the pond, celebrating Toby's bravery and his magical wart. They sang songs and danced under the twinkling stars. Toby smiled, feeling proud of his shining wart and the courage it gave him. From that day on, no one ever felt shy about being different, because everyone knew that even the smallest sparkle could light up the whole forest. The listening ear of Lily. Once upon a time, in a garden full of colors and cheer, there lived a little girl named Lily. But Lily was no ordinary girl, she had a special gift. Her ears were big, round, and the best part, they could listen to the tiniest whispers of nature. What a wonderful gift, Lily thought as she twirled in the sunshine, ready for a day of adventure. As Lily wandered through her garden, she heard something soft and sweet. It was a little butterfly fluttering nearby. "Hello, Lily," it said. "Can you hear me? I have a secret to share." Lily knelt down, her big ears ready to listen. The butterfly whispered about a hidden treasure buried under the old oak tree where the wise old owl lived. With a giggle, Lily raced toward the old oak tree. "I can't wait to find the treasure," she exclaimed. But when she got there, she found a chubby bunny looking sad. "What's wrong?" Lily asked, her ears perked up. The bunny sighed, "I lost my favorite carrot." With her listening ear, Lily heard the faint sound of crunching nearby. "Is that it?" she asked, pointing to a bush. Lily and the bunny tiptoed to the bush, and there it was, his favorite carrot. The bunny jumped for joy, and Lily clapped her hands. "You found it," she cheered. Just then, the wise old owl hooted from above, "You have a kind heart, Lily. Your listening ear not only finds treasures, but also helps friends." From that day on, Lily used her listening ear to help all her friends in the garden. Whether it was the whispers of the flowers or the giggles of the butterflies, she always found a way to spread happiness. And every adventure made her heart a little bigger, reminding her that listening is a special treasure too. The magical summer of Max and Mia. One bright morning, Max and Mia found a tiny sparkling door hidden behind their garden's old oak tree. Curious and excited, they opened the door and stepped into a magical garden bursting with colors they had never seen before. Flowers glowed softly, butterflies shimmered like stars, and the air smelled like sweet honey and sunshine. Max and Mia giggled with joy, ready to explore their magical summer adventure. Every day, the garden changed. One day, the flowers sang happy songs, and Max and Mia danced with the butterflies. Another day, a tiny glowing caterpillar invited them to a tea party with magical acorn cups. They laughed, shared stories, and felt like the garden was their new best friend. The garden was full of surprises, and Max and Mia could hardly wait to see what magic tomorrow would bring. One afternoon, the garden grew tall trees that whispered secrets. Max listened carefully as a friendly tree told him about bravery and kindness. Mia felt brave too and helped a shy ladybug find her way home. The magical garden wasn't just fun, it was teaching them how to be brave and kind friends. Max and Mia smiled, feeling their hearts grow bigger with every magical moment. As the summer sun began to set, Max and Mia found a sparkling pond that showed their happiest memories together. They saw themselves laughing, exploring, and sharing magical moments in the garden. Holding hands, they promised to visit the magical garden every summer, knowing it would always bring joy, friendship, and a little magic to their hearts. The happy Tropicbird's tale. High above a sparkling blue sea, Tilly the Tropicbird loved to dance with the wind. Her long, shiny tail feathers fluttered like ribbons as she twirled and swooped through the sunny sky. Every morning, she sang happy songs that made the ocean waves sparkle even brighter. All the animals on the island smiled when they heard Tilly's cheerful tunes and watched her joyful dances. One day, while Tilly was playing near the shore, her tail feathers got tangled in bright green and purple seaweed that had washed up on the sand. She tried to pull free, but the seaweed held tight. Tilly felt a little worried, but remembered her happy songs and began to sing softly. Soon, her friends heard her and came to help. First came Carl the crab, clicking his claws with excitement. "Don't worry, Tilly, we'll help you get free." Next, Dolly the dolphin splashed in the waves, and Timmy the turtle slowly waddled over. Together, they pulled and tugged at the seaweed until Tilly's tail was finally free. Tilly twirled in the air, her tail sparkling even brighter than before. Tilly laughed with joy and sang a happy song to thank her friends. "Thank you for helping me. When we all work together, we can solve any problem." From that day on, Tilly's dances were even more joyful, and she always shared her happiness with everyone on the island. Her sparkling tail reminded everyone that kindness and teamwork make the world shine brighter. the little Puffin's beak. Once upon a time, on a windy cliff by the sparkling sea, a little Puffin named Poppy hatched from her egg. But oh, Poppy's beak was very tiny and different from all the other Puffins. While her friends had big, bright orange beaks, Poppy's was small and colorful like a rainbow. She wondered if she could ever play and fly like them with such a funny little beak. Poppy tried to catch fish like the others, but her tiny beak made it tricky. She felt a little sad and sat on the edge of the cliff. Suddenly, a friendly seagull swooped down and said, "Your beak is special, Poppy. You can do things we cannot." Poppy blinked in surprise. Could her little beak really be special? With a big Puffin smile, Poppy tried again. This time, she picked up tiny seashells and helped a little crab stuck under a pebble. Her small beak was perfect for gentle, careful jobs. Her Puffin friends clapped their wings and cheered, happy to see Poppy's bright smile and clever ways. That day, Poppy learned something wonderful. Being different made her special and helped others in ways big beaks could not. She flapped her little wings with pride, ready for new adventures. And from that moment on, Poppy's tiny, colorful beak was the happiest beak on the whole windy cliff by the sea. The Little Lark Sparrow's Song. In a bright meadow full of colorful flowers and tall green grass lived a little lark sparrow named Leela. Every morning, Leela would flap her tiny wings and sing a happy song that floated through the air like soft sunshine. Her song was sweet and cheerful, and all the animals in the meadow loved to listen. But Leela was curious. She wondered what her song truly sounded like to others, and if it could make new friends. One sunny morning, Leela decided to explore the meadow and share her song with everyone she met. She sang as she hopped from a rock to a tree branch, and soon a curious bunny twitched its nose and hopped closer to listen. "Hello, little sparrow. Your song is so bright and happy," said the bunny with a big smile. Leela felt her heart glow with happiness. She sang even louder, hoping to find more friends to share her tune. As Leela continued her adventure, a red squirrel peeked from behind a tree and clapped its tiny paws. "Your song makes the leaves dance," it said with a giggle. Leela giggled too and sang a little faster, making the leaves twirl and swirl around her. Then, a group of yellow butterflies gathered, fluttering in time with her melody. Leela realized that her song was not just a sound, it was magic that brought the meadow to life. Suddenly, Leela heard a soft croak and saw a little green frog sitting by a pond. The frog smiled and said, "Your song makes the water sparkle like stars. Will you sing for me?" Leela perched on a nearby reed and sang the sweetest song she could. The water shimmered and sparkled, and the frog clapped happily. Leela felt proud and joyful. She knew her song was special and could bring happiness to everyone. As the sun began to set, Leela flew back to her favorite tree and sang a gentle lullaby. All her new friends, the bunny, the squirrel, the butterflies, and the frog gathered around to listen. Leela's song was soft and warm, wrapping the meadow in a cozy hug. She had learned that her song was not only beautiful, but also a wonderful way to share joy and friendship. And from that day on, the little lark sparrow sang her heart out every morning, knowing her music could brighten the world. the brave little Roadrunner's speed. In the warm desert under a big blue sky lived Ricky, the brave little Roadrunner. Ricky loved to run fast, faster than the wind. Every morning, he would race the breeze, darting past cacti and hopping over rocks. His feet went pitter-patter so quickly, it was like a little drum beat on the soft sand. Ricky was proud of his speed, but most of all, he loved to help his friends with his quick feet and brave heart. One day, as Ricky was practicing his speedy sprints, he heard a soft voice calling for help. It was Timmy, the tiny turtle, who looked lost and a little scared. "Oh, Ricky," said Timmy, "I wandered too far from my home and now I don't know the way back." Ricky's heart felt big and brave. He said, "Don't worry, Timmy, I'll help you find your way home. We'll be there in no time because I'm very fast." With a happy nod, Ricky led the way, his speedy feet kicking up little clouds of dust. Timmy followed closely, feeling safer with each step. Along the path, Ricky told stories about the desert and all the friends they might meet. Suddenly, they heard a rustle in the bushes. A shy lizard popped out to say hello. Ricky slowed down so Timmy could meet the lizard, making their journey even more fun. As the sun began to dip low, painting the sky orange and pink, Ricky and Timmy saw Timmy's home near a big, shady cactus. Timmy was so happy. "Thank you, Ricky. You were so fast and brave to help me," he said with a big smile. Ricky felt proud but knew that being brave wasn't just about running fast, it was about helping friends too. They both laughed and promised to have many more adventures together. The delicious day of Diego and Diana. Once upon a time, in a land where candy trees grew and chocolate rivers flowed, lived two siblings named Diego and Diana. They woke up one sunny morning, their tummies rumbling with excitement. "Today is a delicious day," shouted Diego, and Diana danced around the room, clapping her hands. They decided to explore their magical world, where every step was a new adventure filled with yummy treats. As they ventured outside, they discovered candy clouds floating in the sky. "Can we jump on them?" Diana asked with wide eyes. They bounced on the candy clouds, giggling as they leaped from one fluffy treat to another. With each jump, they soared higher and higher, tasting the sweet, sugary fluff. "This is the best day ever," Diego exclaimed, his face covered in sticky sweetness. Next, they stumbled upon a chocolate river. "Look," Diana pointed excitedly. They dipped their fingers into the river and tasted the rich chocolate. It's so good." Together, they made chocolate boats out of leaves and floated them down the river, laughing as they raced them against each other. They shared their chocolate treasures and promised to always share their treats. As the sun began to set, they found a giant cupcake hill. They climbed to the top and spotted a rainbow of candies waiting below. Diego and Diana shared the candies with their friends, who joined them for a sweet picnic under the candy trees. They laughed, played, and enjoyed the delicious treats together, knowing that the best part of the day was sharing it with friends. The friendly albatross's wings. Once upon a time, in a sunny land by the sea, there lived a friendly albatross named Alex. Alex had the biggest, most beautiful wings you could ever imagine. They sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight and could flap like a gentle breeze. Every morning, he would soar high above the waves, feeling the fresh ocean air tickling his feathers. But even with all his flying, Alex felt something was missing. One sunny day, as Alex flew over the beach, he spotted Benny the bunny hopping around looking sad. "What's wrong, Benny?" asked Alex, landing softly beside him. Benny sighed, "I wish I could see the world from the sky like you do." Alex thought for a moment and said, "Why not hop on my back? I can take you for a ride." Benny's eyes lit up with excitement. With a big flap of his wings, Alex took off into the sky with Benny on his back. They soared above the trees and the sparkling sea. Benny squealed with joy as he looked down, seeing everything so small and beautiful. "Thank you, Alex. This is the best day ever." Alex smiled, feeling his heart fill with happiness. It was fun to share his wings with his friend. After their adventure, they landed back on the beach, where Leela the lizard and Sammy the squirrel were waiting. "What happened?" they asked curiously. "I took Benny for a ride in the sky," said Alex proudly. "Can we go too?" they both chimed. Alex's wings were ready to share more joy, and he said, "Of course, the more the merrier." So, one by one, Alex took Leela and Sammy high into the sky, and they all laughed and cheered together. They felt like birds, gliding through the clouds and dancing with the wind. When they finally landed, they were all breathless with joy. Through sharing his wings, Alex discovered that the best adventures are the ones we share with friends. The Little Sheep's Ba. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, there lived a little sheep named Ba. Ba had the fluffiest wool and the friendliest smile. But there was one thing that made Ba very special, her ba. Every time she said ba, something magical happened. "Ba!" she called one bright morning, and suddenly colorful butterflies danced around her, fluttering their wings to her joyful sound. Ba was excited. She hopped and played, wanting to share her special ba with all her friends. She trotted over to her friend Bunny, who was munching on a big, crunchy carrot. "Bunny, watch this," Ba exclaimed. "Ba," and just like magic, the carrot turned into a rainbow. Bunny's eyes widened with delight as he jumped up and down. "Wow, Ba, can you do it again?" Ba giggled and said, "Of course." She opened her mouth wide and shouted, "Ba!" This time, flowers bloomed all around them. Red, yellow, and purple flowers sprouted up from the ground, creating a lovely garden. Bunny was thrilled. "You are the best, Ba," he cheered, and they both danced through the colorful blossoms. Ba decided to visit her other friends. She found Puppy playing by the pond. "Puppy, come see what my Ba can do," Ba called. "Ba," and to their surprise, sparkling stars began to twinkle in the sky, even though it was daytime. Puppy started barking happily, chasing the twinkling stars that floated down like little sparkles. Ba's friends gathered around, each wanting to hear her magical Ba. The meadow was filled with laughter and joy as Ba shared her special gift. With each Ba, more fun surprises appeared, making the day brighter and happier. Ba learned that her voice could bring friends together and create magic, one Ba at a time. The wordplay of Wendy and William. Wendy and William loved playing with words. One sunny morning, they sat under the giggling tree in their magical garden. "Let's make up a new word," Wendy said with a smile. William thought for a moment and said, "How about fluffernoodle? It sounds like something soft and silly." They both laughed and imagined a fluffy noodle that could wiggle and dance all by itself. Suddenly, the garden around them sparkled as the fluffy noodle appeared, swirling happily in the air. Excited by their new word, Wendy and William decided to create more. William waved his hands and said, "What about Snickerpuff?" Wendy clapped her hands and added, "It sounds like a funny little cloud that tickles you." They imagined the Snickerpuff floating gently, giggling and tickling all the flowers and leaves. As if by magic, a fluffy white cloud appeared, gently brushing petals and making them giggle and sway. The garden was alive with laughter and playful sounds. Wendy thought of a word that sounded like a bounce. "Let's say bopple pop," she giggled. William jumped up and said, "Yes, a word that makes you want to hop and pop like bubbles." They imagined tiny bubbles bouncing all around them, popping softly with happy little sounds. The garden filled with shimmering bubbles that bounced on the leaves and petals, popping gently and making cheerful popping noises. Wendy and William giggled and hopped along, filled with joy from their magical wordplay adventure. The Christmas Carol of Charlie and Chloe. One chilly December evening, Charlie and Chloe found a curious little book under the Christmas tree. It wasn't an ordinary book. It sparkled with tiny stars and hummed softly when they touched it. As they opened it, they heard a gentle melody, the very first notes of a magical Christmas carol. Suddenly, the snowflakes outside began to twirl and dance, and the Christmas lights on the house flickered to life with bright, joyful colors. Excited, they sang the carol together, and to their surprise, the snowmen in the yard began to wiggle their carrot noses and sing along. The candy canes on the porch started to twirl like ballerinas, and the stars on the tree shimmered brighter than ever. Charlie and Chloe laughed as the magic filled the air, making their whole world twinkle with holiday cheer. As the carol reached its happiest part, a gentle snowflake floated down and landed softly on Chloe's nose. It sparkled and grew until it became a tiny, shimmering fairy. She smiled and said, "Thank you for singing the Christmas carol. Because of you, the magic of the season will shine bright all night." Then, with a sprinkle of fairy dust, the whole neighborhood glowed warmly, wrapped in a cozy blanket of holiday magic. Charlie and Chloe hugged each other with big smiles, feeling the true spirit of Christmas glowing inside their hearts. They knew this was a Christmas they would always remember, a carol that brought their world to life with laughter, music, and magic. And from that night on, whenever they sang the special carol, the magic would return, filling every Christmas with wonder and joy. The Happy Hummingbird's Wings. Once upon a time, in a garden bursting with colors, lived a cheerful little hummingbird named Bella. Bella had the most beautiful wings that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. Every morning, she would flap her wings and zoom around the garden, spreading happiness wherever she went. "Look at me," she would chirp, twirling through the air. The flowers danced with joy, and the trees swayed as Bella brought smiles to everyone she met. One sunny day, Bella spotted her friend Benny the bunny looking sad under a big, shady tree. "What's wrong, Benny?" she asked, flapping her wings gently. Benny sighed, "I can't hop as high as I want, and it makes me feel blue." Bella thought for a moment and said, "Let's have a hopping party. I can help you up high." Benny's ears perked up with excitement. He loved parties, especially with his best friend. Bella flew up high, calling all her garden friends to join the fun. She zipped through the flowers, inviting everyone to hop and dance. With each flap of her wings, a sprinkle of magic dust fell down, making everyone feel light and happy. Soon, Benny was hopping higher than ever, giggling and laughing. The garden was filled with joy as they danced together under the sparkling sun. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with orange and pink, Bella and her friends gathered around to share their favorite moments from the hopping party. "Thank you for making me feel happy, Bella," Benny said with a big smile. Bella flapped her wings proudly, realizing that her happiness spread like the colors of the rainbow. And from that day on, Bella knew that her wings were not just beautiful. They were magic wings that brought friends together.